with overseas investors. And as I talk to you now, they are busy and they have already got approval for 1.5 billion rand project. In Mujaji. And something which I think you should know, if you are doing a project in a certain area, and something which I think was absolutely brilliant, if you take your people living in a village and they have to go somewhere with a taxi, now they have to pay 70 rand to get there and 70 rand to get back. So what have they got left to buy with? But what they have done, if they are building a shopping mall in an area, they are now bringing the taxi associations in as partners of those projects. So the taxi drivers will not lose money and they need not go on strikes. They will just be joined into the project. And I wish them well. With regards to our religious approaches, we have been in touch with, and I can say it without any doubt, with all, not some, with all the largest church groupings in South Africa. With all of them. And I think you can give a big clap for that. I again want to emphasize the religious approach. We believe from ARU that every single person has got the right to religion, no matter what religion they belong to, but every person has got the right to his own or her own religion. And we will support that right up into Parliament. Therefore, what is very important for you to realize, if we look at our documentation that has been drawn up so far, and unfortunately, I don't think our national spokesperson could make it. Could he make it? Where is he? Oh, okay. Leslie Chiluani. You must remember the name, Leslie Chiluani. He's an author of books. He's already, I think, written 2 or 3 books. He's a wonderful person. He is absolutely brilliant in what he is doing. And he was working many nights, because he works at night when it's quiet. And Leslie went in, and he was the one that was instrumental in getting our final constitution drawn up, as well as our manifesto, as well as our federal document. And this is what is so important, is our federal document. In what we are saying, we are creating our Royal House of Monarchs. The Royal House of Monarchs will run in parallel with Parliament. The Royal House will be headed up by our monarchs, by our royalty. And Parliament can sit there and, as they've been doing over the past 24 years, shout and scream at each other. But whatever they say has to be vetted, rubber stamped by the Royal House. Otherwise, nothing but nothing will be approved if it is not vetted by our monarchs. So, if ever there is anyone here with connections and contacts with your traditional leaders, with your monarchs, with your kings, with your queens, with the royal houses, and we have not yet made contact with them, you are welcome. You can call us at any time, and we will make contact with them. We'll go and visit them, or they can come here if they're coming this side, and they can meet with our president and we will gladly meet with all of them. Then, very lastly, considering the report, the support that we have gleaned from our traditional leaders and our religious leaders, as well as all our executives who have reported back to us, I can't give you the numbers, but if I give you the numbers, then obviously you will know we have been to that church, to that bishop, to this person, to that person. I can give you the numbers now, that we will not get less than 20 million votes in next year's election. I am very proud to be part of this party. I am very proud to be part of this whole working committee that is sitting here today. We are all part of this committee. We need to convince the whole of South Africa that ARU is the party that will lead them into the future. Viva ARU, viva! Viva ARU, viva! Viva! Your Royal Highness, Bayete Mutimkulu, Bayete. Bayete Mutimkulu, Langalibalele, Bayete. Thank you very much. Siyabonga.
I would like us to give a round of applause for the second time. That was a very interesting report indeed, SG. I will be strict with time now. But then I had to allow him because of he's the Secretary General of the African Renaissance Unit. So therefore, he must clarify so that no one will have a question. It must just be clarified. Okay, let's quickly rush to our agenda. I will have amendments again after him, SG. Then there's gonna be Mr. Chauke. He must come front, therefore he's gonna tell us of what his mind, so that we will carry on with our agenda.
Bayete. I'm not going to go through the whole formalities. As a worker, I'm actually an agriculturalist. I want you to eat when you live here. So therefore, I don't want people who are going to die tomorrow. And I want us that this organization become the blue light for implementation. Now this is the time that we should do that. And if we don't do it now, that means we will be left. I just come from a meeting of the planting season task team, which is a presidential program that needs land to be planted on Monday. Anyone that has land that needs to be planted on Monday, that land is required on Monday. Then it will be planted on Monday. So I just come from that task team, and the commitment were made. In the task team, we have the presidential office there, we have all the department. We've been running this program since August, when it was announced by the president of the country. What I would want to let you know all, the reason that I'm here, I would want you to thank our King, who is who has a bright or a foresight of seeing things before everybody sees them. I think His Majesty, your dream is realized. Let me tell you that right now, that your dream has now come to be realized. Before you even take over the government, you will show that you are the real leader. And so, for that dream, I would want to make this announcement that through His Majesty, and through His own personal command to me when He met me, He commanded me to say, Chauke, I want you, if you are honest, I want you to demonstrate to me that you will do something for me and my people. So I'm here to demonstrate to him that I'm going to do something for him. Through he submitted to my office 40,000 hectares, 40,355 hectares for Gauteng only. Those lands need to be finalized by Monday, and we need to plant that 40,355 hectares. And fortunately or unfortunately, belongs to Kosikeka. All those hectares. So, Johannes, you should know on Monday, I will be sending you a schedule of visit. We will be visiting your land. We are going to see your land. You need to show us where the corners of the lands are. Between now and Monday, I need you to send me the coordinates of those lands, so that when we come to see the land, we don't get confused. So 40,355 hectares that was submitted by the king for Kosikeka. And then in Limpopo, for Kosimojaj and others, 41,008 hectares was also submitted through the office of the king. Those lands are required. We will send a schedule to those people, and I think the facilitator there is Emmy. Emmy has made a lot of facilitation as far as that is concerned. We have a list. That 41,008 is needed to get all the coordinates so that a visit can be done to that area. In the Eastern Cape, I didn't even know that there's this kind of land that exists. I don't know. In the Eastern Cape, 8,565,294 hectares of land. For the Eastern Cape, that was submitted through various traditional leadership from this is coming from Tata. No, basically is that, I don't have I just summarized. This is coming from Queenstown. to Port St. John's. So those hectares, in total, they totalize that amount of hectares. So please, the people who have facilitated, Umaidon and Abi, Abel, and you also have some. So we need the coordinates of those hectares as a matter of agency. Abel was with me in the meeting. He knows what was the resolution. If we don't get the coordinates by Monday, these lands are out. So we really need this on Monday because the task team need to consolidate on Friday, and Monday we'll get the lists for visiting those particular areas, and then on Friday we consolidate. Next week we do the payment of the visits. So please, you still have that time that you should. These lands are already submitted, but there is these things that are required so that we can now go and meet directly the people that we need to talk in the plantation. In KZN, it came to me as a little bit of, I wondered as to what happened. Maybe it was the writers who wrote wrong. But in KZN, we have 223,100 hectares that was submitted. So those 223,100 hectares were submitted out of 3 districts. I think Utungulu district, eThekwini, and I think some of Umkanyabud, some of those areas that were submitted from KZN. So please, the only shortage in all these lands that I'm talking about is the GPS coordinates. That's the only shortage. Otherwise, the names, the area people, everybody that needs to benefit this planting season. We're not talking about next year. We're talking about this very planting season. Well, Western Cape, I don't know whether was it from your group? Yes. 106 hectares from the Western Cape. In the Western Cape, we only got 106 hectares. Do we really waste our time to run the Western Cape for 106 hectares? Eh? I'm requesting that one we exclude. 106 hectares in the Western Cape. That was submitted via this forum. Okay? So please, Western Cape next year. Again, let's look at it next year for Western Cape. Mpumalanga, 13,272 hectares that we have received. So we haven't received anything for Free State. We didn't receive anything for Northwest. I don't know, but there was a lot of talk about Northwest in that group. What I received was a list of names and hectares, which was never accepted. I think it was your submission. It was a list of names and hectares, which was really not according to the way we had given out the form so that people must submit. But this is what I want to tell you, is that you have time from when you leave here and on Sunday. You can still squeeze your land for as long as you can complete the form that you are given properly. If you can complete the form that Ubaba Madiba will give you properly, and I get this on Sunday at at 8 o'clock on Sunday, 8 o'clock in the evening, I get it in my computer, properly completed, you will get in. But if not, then I lindela next says it. So in other words, those who know that they were not part of the submission that was submitted by Ubaba Madiba for and on behalf of His Majesty Mtimkulu III. And these are things that have been confirmed yesterday by the President to say these programs have to be implemented. This is not something that we are. I just want to read to you, I'm just going to read to you the statement of implementation that is coming from the mouth of the President. Intervention by government. The Land Bank as a financial administrator, commercial banks and Department of Agriculture, Forestry and Fishery, Department of Rural Development and Provincial Department of Agriculture, PDAs, will develop blended financial instruments using public and private funds. This will consist of a public sector grant component from DAF and Department of Rural Development, and a loan component from the Land Bank and commercial banks referred to as the soft loan. Now, how much money has now been allocated to Land Bank, which is allocated for now? The Land Bank and DAF has signed an MOU with 100 million transferred to Land Bank and more than 500 million over to the MTEF, period. 18 projects has been assessed by the Land Bank already. But this is where we come in, all of us. This is where these come in. Commercial farmers would partner with potential beneficiaries, approach a commercial bank to obtain 50% funding from the commercial bank, and this would be matched by 50% grant money from a grant allocated committee. So 50% and 50%. So in other words, you have a partner who is a commercial farmer in your area, and that commercial farmer says, I want to assist you. Okay? I want to assist you. So then you say to him, yes, you can assist me. Then you just write a business plan, both of you, you go to a commercial bank. And then the commercial bank will say, I want security from you. Where is the security? Then you say, no, Ubabu government, you go. I have Ubabu, Ngemalili, get 50% of everything that you want to fund me. 50% of everything that you want to fund me will be financed by a grant. So in other words, Tina Song and Jehovah's we are 50% grant. So we have, our land gives us power. Our people who have been struggling, who have not been using that land, they can now use the land. The land can now be plowed immediately. So those partnerships of commercial farmers that we might be having in our areas. We should go and strengthen them. But watch this. Mina ngikhona phela angithi. Mina as a father, African Farmers Association of South Africa, we are the monitoring organ. We are monitoring those relationships. So whatever relationship that you are going to enter into with a commercial farmer, we will always monitor fronting. Because there is a lot of things that are going to happen like that. There's going to be a lot of fronting. Because people knowing that you have the capacity to access funds now. You see, now you have the capacity, you've got the land, and you also have the capacity to access funds. Then a person comes in the village, then starts speaking with you and say, let's make partnership. And then you partner, and he says, right, I'm going to give you 40% or 60% is going to be yours. Mine will be 40%. But in this deal, in this business that is happening, this person comes up with all these administration fees that he charges. You see, money doesn't filter through to the profit, but money ends up in payment of salaries and travels. But who is the person that is getting the most? Your partner, not you. So at the end of the day, that 50%, you're going to share a 50% of 10 rand. You don't still get the money. So now, those relationships, all those relationships that you'll go and establish, the traditional leader council, together with ourselves, we will be there to monitor. We'll be there to make sure that we monitor. So I would request that as already His Majesty has already started this road, could we all please, all of us, it doesn't matter whether you say, I'm coming from the royalty, but I'm from Zimbabwe. You see? So I'm a royalty in Zimbabwe. Okay? But if I'm here, I'm non-royalties. So, but as South Africans, we are all royalties. We have different names. But if we have one person who have taken the initiative of upgrading all those royalties, let us give a hand of that particular eye that has been able to see the light. You know, the problem with traditional leadership is we work in silos like politicians. And that kills us. Because then the politicians themselves, they come, divide you as a traditional leader with the community. And at the end of the day, you are just a traditional leader who is leading nothing. Because number one, you don't have money, you don't have capacity, you even don't have people, because they are gone. You see, ubukhosi remain inkosi. Uzelwe as inkosi. You are not elected. You are a king. And be that. And be, just honor yourself. And don't degrade yourself and find yourself clapping hands with small politicians that will be coming and frustrate you in your own area. This time, you are given the power to determine and to run your own economy. Unfortunately, I would have loved to listen to my king when he gives the speech. But because of this very task that I have to do, I need to consolidate. And I phoned Utata uMadiba ukuthi look, I want you and your committee as a matter of urgency